And for the royalty of Black Clover, there's a good amount of options because the lucky thing is actually one of the lead characters with Noel is a member of the royal family, and then you can even branch off over into places like the House Kira or with the House Vermillion. But who I wanted to really address in this was Nozel, because Nozel, I think he's a really interesting character from the way that a lot of people classified him. A lot of people kind of like saw where exactly his character sat at, but misjudged a lot of where a lot of where the areas that his words were coming from. Because what we know about Noelle's backstory, the way that her family treated her, we know that it was a much more, it wasn't straight from Nozel, just as he was mean of the fact that after Noelle's birth, whether we not know directly into it, we don't know the specific details, their mother Aesir died, and though we have seen flashbacks of Nebra and Solid being very mean to Noelle, Nozelle's are much more kind of like direct, and the way that they aren't like as formatted into bullying somebody specifically for like personal reasons, because we know that there are some obvious like now we know that there's some hidden secrets going on with the death of Aesir and this whole curse thing from a demon Megicula. But the one thing that you can, if you just looked at Black Clover, not even the whole series, if you just look at instances of Nozel specifically, like whenever he's really rude to a character, the way that he treats them is based on the level of weight that they can carry. And you look at this panel right here if you want to pause and read it, because I'm going to talk about it at the moment. But the way that he really sees it, it involves like the weight that one carries as a Magic Knight, where they kind of present themselves and what they are adding to the team. Because he carries the title of Magic Knight very seriously. He's very I would want to say business orientated, more of like upholding of one's stature, because not only is he a captain of the Magic Knights, but he's one of the members of the royal family. He's like the front runner of the Silva family currently, and he's got a lot on his shoulders. Plus, for him, unlike looking over at like House Kira, where House Kira obviously you have Augustus as the king, but he really just has to do like plain old king stuff. You have the House Vermillion, who's eldest child, said decided screw the Magic Knights. I don't really want to do any of that. I'm going to go live out in the wild and go hunt big animals and pretty much just enjoy what she enjoyed with Marileona. With Nozel, you gotta keep in mind, like not only is he, carrying on the name of the Silver Eagles, but Aesir, she was a big deal. She held like a high level of power behind her, because though we don't know about Marileona, like how strong she was at the time, she obviously really looked up to Aesir, and she said like no matter how many times she fought her, she never beat her. Like she was much stronger, at least against that version of Marileona. So she had a lot going on for her, both as like a royal character, obviously being Nocel's mom, but also the fact that that those are some big shoes to fill. Not probably literally, she's probably got small feet, girl. But with him, the way that he really looks at a lot of characters is how he sees them as what they bring to the table as a Magic Knight. Like, look at how he was against Asta at the very start, and it wasn't just like, oh, I was. This kid really taught me a lesson about like peasants or whatever and how they can do things. How you see like a lot of characters like when Klaus, kind of looked down on Asta and then saw what he was capable of and saw what he did. With Nozel, it's not really the same as that like straight looking at somebody of a peasant and being like, I don't like, my issue with you is because you're of low breed. It's because with peasants a lot of time they have lower magic, and he doesn't look at their magical capabilities straight as just like, haha, I'm better than you, you're weak in magic and magic is what matters. His is much more of like what you bring, like I said, what you bring to the table as a Magic Knight. Because once he saw what Asta was capable of and he was able to carry his own weight, he was a lot nicer to him. Same thing with Noelle. When he saw what Noelle was capable of, he was a lot more, polite and friendly to her, not just as a big brother, but as, a member of the Magic Knights. And it really carries on that after the invasion of the capital during the kind of like first part of the Eye of the Midnight Sun, and and then you had you had Fuego Leon get taken over, in through a portal from Valtros. He loses his arm, that whole thing. Because you get a moment where Nibra and Solid are making fun of Fuego Leon for failing and losing, and it's just that part, like alone, I think really sets the gap between Nibra and Solid and Nozel, because no, like they're literally like mocking a dude as he's potentially bleeding out on the ground and could die. And this isn't like, oh, an enemy. This is like a fellow guy. Plus, is superior to you at that. I mean, obviously they're rival families, but like, you gotta keep in mind, the Magic Knights are a military group all in all, and Fuego Leon is a captain, and they were like, haha, you look at you on the ground, I'm bleeding out, probably gonna die, and it's just like, what is wrong with you? You guys are so rotten. It was a much bigger step. Whereas Nozel's wasn't like, hey, you guys should probably not, mock somebody as they're, might die. When they were kind of like talking shit over the fact that Fuego Leon, failed at fighting this guy and lost. He's like, it doesn't really matter if he didn't, if he didn't win the fight. The fact that we were not able to be here to do anything makes us worse than that. Because they're like calling him trash, saying, yeah, maybe he's useless. And he's like, then what are we? Because we got pulled away, we got caught in a trap, and we weren't here to do our job. You're not here to do what we are set for as Magic Knights. And that is the differing factor between Nozel and what I think a lot of people kind of like set him up, and not really set up, but like looked at in his setup of what he was going to be. I think a lot of people just saw it more of like he's the mean older brother. He was going to be kind of like Byakuya from Bleach and how he was with Rukia, but his was much more on the business standpoint. There's obviously, like I said, some things going on between their characters because he knows about the curse that his mother suffered. We haven't like found out how he like what he actually feels over the events, but we did get to see like a flashback over with him talking to his mom, because the one thing that also really carries over from his mother is you have Noel, Nibra, and Solid all have aquatic magic. You have Noel straight as water. You have mist and water from Nibra and Solid. But unlike them, Aesir used, she used a metal. I think hers was just metal. I can't remember if hers was metal or literally silver. That I can't remember off the top of my head. I don't know if it was named or not. But you have Nozel, who's Mercury. He is also metal. Out of the married couple between unnamed, I'm pretty sure he's unnamed, father of them and Aesir. They have 4 kids, and 3 of them aren't her. The 3 of them are aquatic magic, and only one of them, is metallic magic, like their mother. So that's just an extra kind of thing to carry on that he's got. And I do like that about Nozel, is he's a dick, but he's not a dick to be mean. He's a dick to be professional. He's a professional dick, and once he sees like that whole like gap between what he thought you were because he thought you were incapable versus you actually showing you're able to be of use to the Magic Knights and to your job and to the Clover Kingdom, then he's cool with you, and he's respectful, he's nice. He's not like, oh, let's be best friends, but he's not like, you suck, don't get in the way, why are you even being here? Because like after the fact, like he was much nicer to Noel. He was able to count on her in a fight with Asta. He's like, hey, you guys, what you did up there, going on with Licht, and you guys are obviously beat up. I have this magic tool that can heal you. Yeah, let me help you now. Obviously, if they were just nothing and it was just like using this on you guys would be useless to me, it would be a waste. Probably wouldn't do it. He's going to use it because you guys are capable. You guys have value here. We need you here, and overall, the mission and the structure of the kingdom is what's most important. And that's one of the interesting things laid out about him, is how much he holds like steady duty to the Magic Knights. It seems much more to him than the position as a royal member himself. Like I think willingly he would be perfectly fine. Like answer like what do you kind of like rank over? Would you hold higher pride in being a Magic Knight or a royal? I feel like fully he'd be like, oh, Magic Knight, because he has just that strong sensation of strong sense of his own feelings towards it. He's got a strong sense of duty and a strong sense, conviction for what he's doing. But I'm intrigued to see where he goes from here because out of the two characters most likely for the next spot as Magic Emperor, it's between Fuego Leon and Nozel. My guess is Fuego Leon. I think he's gonna get it, but I know that Tabata has hinted it's gonna be one of the two, and I know he likes Nozel. It could be him. It could be him. We don't know, but he's going to need something to cover because obviously Fuego Leon got Salamander. He's got a great spirit and the one with the highest attack power. And unlike Fauna, who was not an attack based caster, having the character, I don't see Nozel covering that gap so easily. He's going to need to discover, oh yeah, we have the great spirits, but maybe there's like lesser spirits, and he gets like earth or straight metal. Maybe he learns Mana Zone. There's going to be a lot of things that he's going to need, especially like the second Fuego Leon and Spirit Dive. Like Nozel's kind of fucked because not covering that gap anytime soon. Like Spirit Dive is going to be too big of a hurdle for him to overcome just off of like standard training. He's going to need to have like magic tools out the ass to deal with Fuego Leon if he wants to somehow overcome him. Because Fuego Leon has a better seam of sense of both dealing with people and his juniors, but also is straight more powerful, and I think would hold a better position as king. But Nozel is still in the running. He might take it. We will see. Other than that, Combo, tell me what you think about the character. And like when he first started out, I definitely had that kind of like he's the jerk kind of guy. He's the big asshole character that really just wants to, you want to dislike, but I think that was intentional. And then it was laid out throughout the story, really, what his intentions are. And you just see that it's much more to him about the duty of a Magic Knight. It's much more about holding the title than just being of a royal, noble, a commoner, a peasant. All in all, to him, what's most important is can you do your job? Are you a valuable asset? Will you be able to, stand your ground, protect the kingdom, the king, the civilians? What is the duty of a Magic Knight? That is what he sees as most important, and that is what I think his thing is gonna, his probably largest asset of being a runner for the next Magic Emperor, because obviously Fuego Leon also is he's a much nicer guy, but I think how much Nozel holds that position of duty to the kingdom, like above like seemingly everything else for him, that holds like a good foot in the door for him at least. But like I said, other than that, comment below, tell me what you think. And I really appreciate thumbs up the video, friend the like button, and subscribe button, and check out my other videos. And I appreciate everyone who's already subscribed. And I thank you all for listening.